Coming up on LiveWire, we've got a great show for you today. We're going to be talking with a theater company, a place called the Uli Theater. It's in Midtown Sacramento, and they have a number of shows that are coming up, and we're going to talk about them. So stay tuned for LiveWire right after this. So it's called the Uli Theater, and if you've never been there, you're going to find out what it's like to go there and see their shows and find out what they do, which is a number of things. And so with me in the studio is Sherry Z. Heller. Hello. And you are a assistant director and an actress out in the big world.
That's right.
And Elise Hodge, who's the director of the company and also an actress.
Producer, writer, all the things.
Yeah, and do you take the broom? And
I
clean
do
up at
actually.
the end of the show?
I do actually sweep and mop the stage. Yes, I do all the things.
It's so true.
That is what happens when you are in community theater. Yes.
So I really want to talk about, make sure we get in all of the aspects of what your company does, because I find it fascinating, because it's so it's actor oriented, and it's kind of creates a kind of place for them to develop and meet with each other and bounce ideas off each other. And
hopefully, yes.
It's got all of that going. So help me on that, okay?
Sure, I certainly can.
Okay, I'll give it a try.
Yeah, so we're going to start with that. Okay, great. Well, we have a couple of different things going on with the Uli Theater. The Artist Collective is what I started about 3 years ago now. It started up right before the pandemic, and of course then
I know.
And it was actually founded around the idea of helping playwrights here locally in Sacramento have a home. And that blossomed into allowing our actors and directors and new directors and all kinds of people to come forward and find a home to learn their craft or develop their craft, however they'd like to, take a step forward in their artistic career.
But you're producing a show now, right?
Yes, we are. We're producing Arsenic and Old Lace. We actually only have 1 weekend left. We've been up for the last 3 weeks now. And Sherry kindly stepped in with me on this play and assistant directed and did a marvelous job. So I was so pleased to have her on board with that. Go ahead.
What's it like all of a sudden jumping in and behind the scenes and working with actors?
Well, there's a lot of teaching involved because in a community theater you have highly skilled, highly experienced actors, and then younger actors who have a great passion for it but haven't done a lot of work, and you have to meld them into an ensemble and get them all understanding the tone of the play, because it's funny, it's a comedy, the timing matters, and it's not just how you say the lines, but your face when you're reacting to the other people saying the lines. And that's a great insight to some of the newer actors.
Oh, yeah.
So I liked the teaching part of it the most.
I'm sure of it. It really is to create a moment rather than somebody waiting for the moment to be over so they can say their line.
Exactly right. Exactly. And we had some actors for Arsenic and Old Lace who knew the film, the Cary Grant film,
the Cary Grant film.
Yes.
really, really well.
Yeah.
And they had to sort of unlearn it so that they could be surprised by what happened on stage. And then we had some younger people who didn't know the film at all and initially couldn't see where the comedy was.
Yeah.
It was like, wait,
That
you
was-
mean the old broads are serial killers? What's funny about that?
That's not funny.
And then,
Actually, yes, it
when
is.
the moments of insight came
Yeah.
and they started laughing themselves, oh, that was delightful.
Sure,
was,
and the
definitely.
feeling that when the audience finally lifts up in the first laughter, you go, "Oh, that's what it is."
It's
Yes.
it's miraculous.
Absolutely wonderful. And talk about Arsenic and Old Lace. So what is it? Maybe there's some people watching who really don't know what it is and how wonderfully important it is in the kind of theater. That's why 70 years after it opened in New York,
It's
there's
still
a theater
fun.
in California
It's still fun,
doing it.
Right,
It's still
right.
a fun play.
Well,
Yeah.
it's a classic comedy. It's a little bit farcical
Mm-hmm.
because there's timing and knocking doors and people sneaking around in the dark, and just as one person leaves the stage, the other one comes on, and the timing really makes the audience hold its breath. But it's not totally a farce either. It's clever. It's witty. It assumes that people can see ahead. It allows you to know a little bit before the characters do what the surprises are going to be, and so you can try to predict what's going to happen, and you can't, and that's what's fun about it.
This is good.
I also want to add that for people who've seen the film and think, oh no, I've seen that, I don't need to see that, that's wrong, because live theater is different.
Yeah.
The director is not choosing for you, as they do in a film, whose face you're watching at a given moment.
Exactly right.
So when the young man is discovering the dead bodies, the film has you watching his amazement. But you can choose in a live theater to watch the older aunties
On stage.
react with consternation, like, okay, so there's a body. Who cares? That's normal.
That's
and
normal.
And so the humor's coming from a different place than in the film.
Well said.
That's worth seeing.
Yeah, definitely.
So in casting this play, did you use actors from your group?
Yes, some of the company members are from the Artist Collective, and then we also branched out because it is a large cast. There's 12 people in the cast. We did branch out. Yeah, we did branch out. But one of the people who took on one of the biggest roles is Maggie Upton, and for people who know her in the community, she's a director, actress, producer, all the things as well.
Raconteur.
Yeah, exactly. And it's very thrilling to have her in the role of Aunt Abby Brewster. And then we went a very different, I feel like, direction in terms of how we cast the rest of the show. And we just tried to find people who really were going to have fun with it and learn something. That's one of the big focuses for me with the Artist Collective, is to allow actors the chance to take on something that they haven't before.
Reach out a little bit more with
Yeah,
that. Okay,
for
that's
sure.
good. Well, that's
Yeah.
a
And we've seen wonderful things from Jasmine Hempstead and Trey Lee, who are our other two kind of big main leads in the show. They play Martha Brewster, Aunt Martha Brewster, and then Mortimer Brewster, and they've just come along beautifully, I feel like, in this show. So it's been fun to see them develop and really take on these
and
very
how have
crazy
the audiences
characters.
reacted to it?
Oh, they've loved it. They've had such a great time. We've heard lots of good laughter, lots of good clapping, and we've had a couple of standing ovations. So we'll take it. Yes, we'll
Standing
take it.
O.
Yeah, we'll
Ouch.
take it. Yeah.
Sacramento audiences don't know how to do that very well.
I know.
And
but
a
it's been
few
lovely.
and a few people who will help others catch on to the humor. They just shout out, "Oh no, she didn't."
Oh, you got that sort of- yeah, I've been there too.
That's very true. One of the fun things, though, you were talking about, being able to see this live in person. We do actually offer the ability to see this live streamed. So if you're not local and or you're just not able to come to a theater or don't feel comfortable coming out to a place that's public, people sitting next to each other and all that good stuff, you can live stream the show, and that's at stellartickets.com. So we have one more weekend. That's this Thursday, 7:30, and then Friday and Saturday at 8 o'clock. And you can live stream or come in person. So
And how can I get tickets? Oh, there it is. Website.
Yeah,
Can I
there
just
it
go
is.
on www.mpros.weebly? Weebly.
Yeah, I know. So Weebly is the site that you use to build your website. So
I see.
yeah,
Okay,
it's
okay,
Weebly.com. You can go there. You can also go to emhboxoffice.com for the in-person tickets, and then for your live stream, you can go to stellartickets.com, and that's STELLAR. Stellar Tickets.com.
Can we show your audience some photos of the set and the
Yes.
costumes?
Sure,
We
sure.
Because
What a
it'll
good
really give
idea.
you a feel.
Let's have a look.
Yeah. for
Okay,
sure.
here are sets from the beautiful, wonderful production of Arsenic and Old Lace.
There's our leading man and lady.
Yes,
our
Trey Lee and
romantic
Stacey
leads.
Nasson. Yeah, that's Elaine Harper and Mortimer Brewster. So.
Isn't that sweet? And
Oh,
they're-
there they are, Miss Martha and Miss Abby. Miss Abby is there on the right-hand side, and Miss Martha is on the left.
And isn't that a fabulous set that Elise built
Oh,
herself?
thank you. Yes, I did.
It's
I
adorable.
built the set.
Great.
Yep.
As you can see, we've kept the period. We've kept true to the 1940
Yes,
era of
definitely.
the
That's good.
play. We
Yeah.
haven't modernized it.
A little side joke: some of the photos on the wall are pictures of both my family and then Maggie Upton's family.
I see. It happens that way, yeah.
yeah.
We thought that'd be kind of fun. And then we have Tony DeCourty as Jonathan Brewster, and that's Daryl DeHart in the pith hat there as Teddy, Teddy Brewster.
Teddy Roosevelt.
Teddy Roosevelt, yes.
Right.
Teddy Brewster thinks he's Teddy Roosevelt.
Yes,
That is
yeah,
correct.
yeah.
Yes. Poor dear man. There's Maggie Upton
Oh,
as
Maggie.
Abby Brewster. Yeah. Yeah. So, and then we've got, that's Eric Welling. Very thrilled with Eric. He's in as Officer O'Hara, who's the officer that is trying to be a playwright, and he corners Mortimer Brewster at one point to tell him about his play, all about his play. It's a very, very funny piece, very funny moment in that.
That's great.
There's Chaz Weiss kind of hanging off to the left there. Chaz actually had the fun of getting to play 2 different roles in the show. He plays Dr. Harper at the beginning, which is Elaine's father, and then later on he plays a boarder who comes to try and rent a room at the Brewster house, and then almost gets killed himself.
It's,
Don't give it away.
It's worth talking about Chaz's performance
Yes.
if you're interested in acting at all, because here's a guy who plays 2 parts in the play. He doesn't change wigs or makeup. He does it all with his body and his face and his posture and his voice, and he's totally believable,
Yeah.
even though he looks the same as 2 completely different characters.
Yeah.
That was astonishing. I mean,
Yeah.
that's worth you're coming to live theater just to see somebody do that.
Absolutely. That's one of the wonderful things about actors who have the talent. You know, they're able to play a number of roles. And take your imagination with them in both directions.
Well, I hope your audience comes to see it or live streams it at home
Well,
this
we
Thursday,
hope
Friday,
so
and
too.
Saturday.
But, they're on the other side of that machine right there. It's very
It's
hard to really
fun
see what
if you
they're
just
thinking.
want to set your troubles aside and get happy. This is just absolutely a rollicking good
There
time.
it is.
And we had fun rehearsing it.
Oh, yeah.
It was astonishing, some of the things that went on in rehearsal. My favorite moments, I think, was the young people learning how to use a rotary phone.
Oh my gosh.
There are some phone calls in this show, and they're looking at this desk phone, a big black thing, and they're picking it up and holding it like this,
Like it's a cell
like
phone.
It's in front of their. No, you have to put it up
You
to
have
the
to put it
side
by
of
your ear. You have to put it by your.
Why?
Amazing. Young actors don't know that.
It was pretty funny.
It never even occurred to me that someone wouldn't know how to hold a phone. It just, and I couldn't figure out when one of our actors was doing this, I couldn't figure out what was going on. I'm like, why are they not holding the phone like a phone? And then it dawned on me, I'm like, they're holding it because they're speaking into it like they're holding their cell phone.
Totally
Oh my
amazing.
goodness.
Right.
But
You
they
know.
learned otherwise.
Oh yes,
Right.
they figured it
I'm
out.
sure of it.
They
Right.
figured it out. So, but it was rather hilarious.
Okay, so we'll jump subjects, but
Okay.
let's finish this one by saying, what are we talking about? We're talking about seeing this production this weekend,
Yes.
right?
Thursday,
And it's
Friday,
the final
and Saturday.
weekend of Arsenic and Old
Final
Lace
weekend of Arsenic and Old Lace at the Uli Theater. They're at
in downtown Sacramento,
Sacramento.
25th?
28th and T Street.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So that's very interesting. It's there it is up on the screen, everyone, and you can get your tickets by going emhboxoffice.com.
There it is.
Okay.
Perfect.
All right. So we're going to take a short pause for the cause in just about a minute. And so, what else can we say about this theater company? You present a lot of new plays.
Yes, that
And
is
how does that work?
the focus. Originally, with starting up the Artist Collective, we focus on local playwrights, and we've done a lot of original works. In fact, the show before Arsenic and Old Lace was by Shane Robert, and it was tackling a very difficult subject of suicide, and it was a very personal story that he shared, and it did really beautiful. We were very pleased with the response we got to it. We got a lot of really good reaction to it, and then next year for the 2023 season, we're going to be working with three other new playwrights, and hopefully one of mine is going to go up this time. We'll see if that works out or not.
Okay.
But yeah, we're going to be working with 3 new playwrights. And the place is also available for, I'm going to do a little shout out to local playwrights. If you want to self-produce, please speak to me. I'd be happy to talk to anybody who's interested in wanting to self-produce. So, yeah.
All right. Okay. Okay. So now we're going to take a short pause for the cause, and we'll be back after a short message, and we'll talk some more about the great and wonderful theater company called the Uli Theater. Okay? We'll be back.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back. Dad! You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
Okay, Dad. 1, 2, 3. You saved me. Dad?
Are you okay?
I'm fine, dear.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
Do you want to meet a family with a transgender kid? Here we are. Max loves to do backflips. Max loves to play his ukulele. Max loves to just be a kid and just be himself. When I found out I was pregnant, all I really wanted was a happy, healthy, whole child. And that's what I got. I think it's really important for people to know that trans kids don't have a political agenda. They are just kids. Like any parent, we love our kids unconditionally, and we will never stop fighting for them. Stand with us. Protect our families.
For those dealing with the daily struggles of caring for a loved one, we hear you. That's why AARP created a community with experts and other caregivers to help us better care for ourselves and the ones we love.
Ha, we're back with Ray Tatter. That's me. I don't know that usually. With me, the student, Sherry Z. Heller, who is an actress and working in directing now, and that sounds cool. And you work in all forms of acting, you know, like film, television, and things like that?
That's right.
Okay, well, I want to talk a little bit about that, because a lot of actors don't. They're like, I'm a theater actor, and you're not.
Mm-hmm.
And Elise Hodge, who is a producer actress and does more
All the things.
teacher,
Playwright.
leader, playwright, and quite a nice person.
Well, thank you. That's very kind.
Anyway, welcome in the second half, and I thought we'd talk in the second half about the other things that theater company does, which is really kind of unique in a way, and in terms of that it is really actor-oriented. I mean, I know in Hollywood they have actor-oriented theaters, you know, like the group theater and all of that. Those are, you know, similar kinds of, they do similar kinds of things, like do working classes with member actors.
Yeah, yeah. So, well, one of the things we've been working on with the collective there at the theater is bringing in local people to teach workshops, such as Lori Russo Ocampo is going to come in and teach with us. She's actually teaching right now at Sacramento Theater Company also. Janice Stevens has come in and taught with us. We're hoping to bring her back soon. We brought in a wonderful gentleman named David Glasser, who is actually tours around the world doing devised theater. And it was so fascinating to get to meet with him. I think you were at that workshop.
I was in that class,
Yeah.
yes.
Talk a little bit about David and what you got out of that workshop, because it was quite a fascinating little thing that we did there.
I think that he had a completely different attitude about collaboration. That it was not just learning from one another, but that creating together so that it's unpredictable what's going to be the result.
Unpredictable.
Unpredictable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
You mean the
Even
feeling
during-
that I
even-
know that when you said "ha," you raise your finger, and you don't do it?
Even the outcome of the story would
Yeah.
be unpredictable in this work. So
Oh, in his version of
Yeah.
theater.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
You buy a script and you pay $75 a night for the script. You want them to say all the words.
Right. And,
right,
and
and his approach was somewhat different.
very different. Yeah. What he's working on is a type of improvisational theater that they've termed as devised theater, because you do eventually have a script, but you started out as an improvisational form, and then
soggetto.
it becomes this very in-depth, intricate, woven piece that is with not just, one or two people. This is a group effort. And so his idea is to keep spreading that to as many places as he possibly can.
And there's a lot
he's
of
been
mixing
traveling
of
all over the world. Mixing of art forms,
right?
yeah.
So that there's music
Dance.
and there's dance and there's choral work,
Yeah.
as well as.
So no performance is the same the next night?
Well, eventually you end up with a script
Yeah.
that is
Eventually it
repeatable.
is.
I
Yeah.
see. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
eventually
So
it is.
that's the way it's developed.
Yeah.
Correct.
Well, that's very interesting.
So
Is there a
it's-
director who says yes and no?
Yeah, but it's a group consensus is what I was taking away from all of this. So it's a very fascinating thing to look into, and I'm looking to bring him back and talk some more about
But
that
I'd like to
with us.
learn
So,
from him. That sounds like
yeah,
a really interesting
I will let you
thing.
know when he is back with us.
I'll march
so.
on over.
Yeah, for sure. But we're bringing in people like this to expand our knowledge as actors and our understanding of the world of acting, because it isn't just the stage; it is film as well, and that's one of the things that I'm hoping will also come further with the collective, is getting more into the film side of things as well, because we do have writers and actors in our group who are both stage and screen. So being able to help give them an avenue to produce those works is what we're focused on.
And I would add that one of the things I think is most valuable about Elise's Artist Collective is that you bring back to your own approach to the art what you got from the others. And what I mean by that, for example, is a playwright with a work will say, I want to do a little bit of a staged reading of this. Then the playwright, and I'll act in that, which I have done. And then the playwright will say, how did that feel for you as an actor? Which parts felt phony?
Yeah.
Which parts could you had difficulty remembering the line because you didn't really believe that's what the character would say there. And the play gets better because the director's seeing it from the actor's point of view.
Absolutely.
And the reverse is true, right? I'm an actor primarily. Elise said, I think you ought to try being an assistant director.
I do,
Because
yeah.
you will be different as an actor after you've carried the responsibility. You will be a little bit less, sure of your character's point of view if you've seen it from all the other characters' point of view.
Well, before the show, you discussed interaction between the actor and a director, and I thought that worked really well because he or whoever that director was allowed the actor to share his impulse with the director for that moment, which was a little different than the director had in mind.
Yes. Yeah.
And it worked.
Yes.
And the director said, fine with me.
Yeah.
Those are magic moments.
Yeah, they are.
And I think the whole reason the Artist Collective is working as well as it is because it's designed to encourage those kinds of moments by bringing the artist, the director, the actor, the playwright, and the technician together to talk to each other.
Fantastic. So what's the future look like in the theater world there?
So what does the future like? Whew. We are going to be opening up for auditions again for the company. So later this month and into December, probably most likely in December, we'll be doing auditions. So we're looking for all types of people at all levels of ability.
So what do I have to do for an audition? Do I have to learn a scene?
No, but that is if you're an actor, you probably want to have a monologue or two under your belt.
I would think, one would think. Down from his high perch, Phil Pentheus?
Yes.
No.
What I like to do is a little more personal. So when we do auditions, I like to find out what you're interested in. If you're coming in as an actor, then I do ask you to bring in something that you've worked on. It could be dramatic or comedic. It's up to you. And if you're a writer, I like to see some of your work. You can give me a sample of your material. If you're a director, we like to sit and talk directing, producing, same thing. But it is much more about communicating with them as opposed to making them come in and I don't like that word audition. I don't know why. I've never liked it. But I feel like this is such a collaborative process that I want to know who you are and I want to know what you want to accomplish. And if I can help you do that, then that's what it's for.
Yeah.
I think as somebody who's come into relatively recently to the company, the important thing was not so much the talent you show in performance in an audition as your willingness and ability to absorb suggestions and adjustments. Can you try it like this? What if you're not angry at her? What if you're hurt in this scene? Can you make the adjustment? So flexibility is what is more important than professionalism.
Yeah,
so,
which can be a wall between
Yeah.
you and the actor in front of you.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm hoping to see this also blossom as, because this is so new in terms of we just got into the Uli Theater. You've mentioned the Uli Theater a few times. We've just gotten into the space officially in July, and so I'm still kind of gearing up to make it all nice and beautiful and new and and all that.
Excellent.
So yeah,
Excellent.
so we're moving forward, and I look forward to seeing. More of our local artists of all levels, doesn't matter what level you're at, coming in and wanting to produce work there and wanting to find new talent.
Yeah, and the writer's room, let's talk about that a little bit more.
Yes, that's our group of, that's kind of how this all started, was the writer's room. And it was a group of playwrights with, Lon and Smith and Judith Plank, Judith Hancock. I don't know if you ever met. Did you meet Judith Hancock?
I don't think so.
Oh, I hope she comes back when she's ready. People come and go, as the saying goes.
But they're
and-
still members.
Yes, definitely. Once you're a member, you're kind of always a member in spirit, even if you're not there in person.
Nobody comes and drags you out.
And we've had, I've just named a few, but we've had, upwards of 15 to 20 writers at a time working in the group. We have a couple of really great ones right now with Stephen Redmond Byram, Shane Robert, Nate Mercier. We have Gaia Thurchi, who just
Oh, yes,
did.
yes, I know her work.
Gaia
It's good.
is
Yeah,
fantastic.
absolutely.
Oh my goodness, totally blanking right now. Sorry.
So you have 100
but-
wonderful people.
But we have wonderful people, yes, and they're all needing, actors to come work with their work. So
Wait, I'm getting a signal that says we have 1 minute left.
Okay.
What can we say? Come see the
please
play.
reach out. Please come see the play. Come reach out to the Artist Collective. We'd love to see you. I'd love to talk to you anytime. My door is always open, and we hope to see in all of you, public and professionals and creatives and non-professionals and all the rest of you. Come out and join us.
That's great.
We'd love to see you this weekend. It's
Yes.
so much fun. Come see Arsenic and Old Lace.
Yes, please
Well,
do.
thank you, Sherry. Thank you. What is your name?
Elise.
Great, Elise Hodge.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Well, the Uli Theater. And we'll see you next week on LiveWire, where we bring wonderful people from the artist community here into this room and squeeze information out of them.
Yes.
Okay, the Artist Collective. Take care. That's it?
That's it.
We did. Yeah. Thank you very much. How about a high five?
Ugh,
Or whatever that is.
the high knuckle.
Okay.
Thank you, Ray. Thank
All
you for
right,
having
thank
me
you.
today. I appreciate
Good,
it.
and have a good show.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll be there.
I hope so. I hope so.
Good.
Everybody's welcome.